Welcome Bitcoin friends, it's Bitcoin Mamo. Today we're going to look at the Bitcoin chart, do some TA, and we're going to get straight into it today because there are some interesting things in the chart that I want to point out. And first of all, we've just closed the latest 4-hour candle here. And I just want to point out we did have a bullish divergence here with this red line with lower lows on the price action and higher lows on the RSI. And forming this new lower low here on the 4-hour candle, we do have lower lows on the price action again between these 2 points and higher highs on the RSI. So this is a triple bullish divergence on the 4-hour chart, and this is a very powerful sign and a good sign that this could possibly be the bottom, or at least we will see prices go up from here with this RSI coming up higher. And we have seen that once before on a bottoming pattern, so we'll just have a look at that. So just zooming out back here to this previous occasion, back in the start of March. And we can see we had a very similar thing here with lower lows in the price, higher lows in the RSI, and the same between these points. And this was triple bullish divergence also on the 4-hour chart. And we can see that that was the bottom, and we did have quite a big run up here after that. We did go from 43,000 all the way up to 62,000. So we can see how powerful these triple bullish divergences on the 4-hour can be. I also want to point out the similarities here between this bottom here and this current price action. We can see that we formed a similar triangle structure. We did break below it, retested, had this big drop, and then price action got bought back up, and the following candle we had this big green candle here. And on this current pattern we can see we have a similar triangle. We did get a couple of bounces and we broke that triangle, came up to the trend line, got rejected, had this big drop, and then when that got bought up, formed this big wick similar to this one, and we are in this current 4-hour candle. So are we going to see something similar? This pattern didn't have the triple bullish divergence and this one does. So I think there is a good chance that we might get a strong bounce here. And just to compare these two patterns, if we actually overlap this previous bottom here with the current pattern, what we can see is the similarities between the two. You can see we've had this drop, we've come back up and gone back down again. And if we were to play out exactly like this pattern, then we would expect to zigzag a little bit more here. Maybe have one more wick down that gets bought up similar to this one, just to get the longs to sell their positions and also trap the bears. And then we might start going up again. And I think we would be testing this trend line here. And if I just zoom out, we talked about this in a previous video here. I do see this falling wedge here connecting these tops and these bottoms. And I did say how similar the falling wedge pattern might be to these previous falling wedge patterns here, with the 3 touches on the bottom line, 2 on the top, and then coming down not quite to the bottom trend line and then breaking up from the wedge. It was also similar to this previous pattern, which had the same moves, 3 touches on the bottom, 2 on the top, almost coming down to the trend line and then breaking the top side of the wedge. And looking at this one, we can see we have the 3 touches on the bottom. Currently we're up. We did just have this wick down. This could be the bottom, or we might do something similar here with this previous bottom pattern. And then coming up here would be the 3rd touch, where we have broken out on these previous wedge patterns. And just looking at some interesting trend lines here, we can see in white we have this falling wedge pattern. And we have this orange trend line here, just connecting these bottoms and this bottom here on this pullback. And we are currently below it. So I would like to see Bitcoin get above this line and reclaim it and use it as support to go higher. And then possibly break this falling wedge pattern to the upside. We also have this yellow trend line here, connecting the top there, the bottom here. And if we were to have one more pullback, perhaps we would come back to this yellow trend line. And this would be around the high 44,000 level. On the RSI, we can see we've been in this channel for quite a long time here. And the Stochastic Rsi has completely cooled off here on the daily. And we can see on previous occasions in this channel, We didn't come all the way down to the trend line, but we did still bounce higher. Similar thing looks to be happening here. And depending how the daily closes, we could actually form a bullish divergence on the daily here. And that would be making lower lows here on the price action and higher lows on the RSI. And I think if we get this daily bullish divergence, then that along with the 4-hour triple bullish divergence would give me a lot of confidence that this is definitely the bottom, and we're going to see a run towards this white trend line here at the top of the wedge. So we have the stochastic RSI on the daily completely cooled off, and we also have the stochastic RSI on the weekly completely cooled off. Also on the 12-hour, the stochastic RSI is completely cooled off, and the 6-hour is also quite low with room to come up. And just looking on the weekly here, we were watching this RSI and we kept seeing it trend down, and we were looking for it to hit this red line. And we can see it acted as support in the 2017 bull run here on all the pullbacks. And currently we are right at this red line here. And we also tested that 21-week exponential moving average, which provided support in the 2017 bull run. So I think next week's candle is going to be a green one. And over to the market Cypher indicator, we can see here we have got this green dot. This is on the hourly, and we can use these blue waves for divergence also. Currently on the hour we have higher lows on the blue wave here and lower lows on the price action. So there is a bullish divergence on the 1 hour. We are waiting for a green dot here on the 2 hour, but we could possibly make a bullish divergence also here on the 2-hour chart between this low and this low and these lows, and also have a similar bullish divergence if we do get that green dot and go higher between these lows on the price and the higher lows on the blue wave here. We did get this green dot on the 6-hour that we were looking for in a previous video, and we did start coming up, and then we got this red dot, so we started coming down again. But a similar thing, be looking for a green dot on the 6-hour sometime soon, possibly tomorrow. And we also might get this bullish divergence similar to the other time frames. And the big one on the 12-hour chart, we were waiting for a green dot. On this previous candle here, a green dot did appear, but before the 12-hour closed and we opened a new one, it did disappear on the chart because we did come down. Also on this candle, it did appear again, and then we did come down before the close, so it disappeared. And it did also appear on this candle, and with this drop here the green dot did disappear. So we are very close to getting a green dot and getting it confirmed here on the 12-hour. And we can see in the past when we did get that green dot, it pretty much got the bottom. We had that one more wick down, but then we did start going up higher. So I do think we'll possibly get this green dot sometime tomorrow. And the daily green dot that we'll be looking for will really cement in that it's the bottom. You can see with this previous green dot here, once we got that green dot, we did go higher, and we don't get these deep blue wave cuts here with these green dots very often. I talked about that in other videos here. The last one was in January before this one. And we can see it got the bottom and we never came to that price again. And before that was all the way back in September here. So we do look to be getting close here, and I said it might take until the start of next week. So we'll have to see what this blue wave looks like at today's close when we open a new daily candle. And then perhaps maybe on Monday we might see that green dot appear, and then I think we'd have a very good week for Bitcoin. So how have I played this? Well, I did get into a long on this initial wick down here, and I did take some profits up here when we started coming down, and I added to my long here on the drop down. I did have some more orders here in case we had a bigger wick down. Currently I am up just 5%, and it's only at 5 times leverage. But once we see price action going up, I will change this to 10 times leverage, and it will change the trade amount. It will cut it in half. So it will be around a $5,000 trade. Just having it at 5 times leverage meant my liquidation price was at 40,142. So it gave me plenty of room to catch these orders. And by changing it to 10 times leverage, the liquidation price would be more around 44,000. And I wanted to have room here in case we got a quick wick down. So just a quick update. We'll have to keep watching the price over the weekend, and the open on Monday should be interesting to watch. We'll see if this fractal might play out here and see if this wedge pattern does play out as I think it might. So thanks for watching. I'm Bitcoin Mamo. See you next time. Bye.